Hey dudes, SilviteSoltis here, back with another classic video for you. Today, I wanted to move away from my usual tips and guide videos to discuss one of the biggest problems that has been creeping into nearly every aspect of classic WoW. If you've ever wondered why some farming spots are constantly overcrowded, why the auction house prices seem completely out of whack, or why certain players seem to have unlimited gold, you're not alone. The reality is that gold buying and botting have become some of the biggest issues in classic WoW. In this video, we're going to break down how RMT, real money trading, and automated gameplay are affecting the game, why it matters, and what we as players can do about it. As always, if you enjoyed the video, then hit those like and subscribe buttons, and let's discuss the biggest problem in WoW Classic. Gold buying and real money trading aren't new problems in classic WoW. In fact, they've been around since the original vanilla days. But the resurgence of classic brought these issues to an entirely new level. One of the biggest factors in the explosion of gold buying was the rise of GDKP runs, a loot system where players bid gold on items instead of rolling for them. At first, GDKPs were seen as a fair way to incentivize overgeared raiders to show up consistently. But as Classic progressed, it became clear that many players were buying gold just to participate. The demand for high amounts of in-game currency skyrocketed, and with that, botting operations ramped up production to meet demand. By the time later Classic phases came out, GDKPs had become a gold-buying arms race, with some items selling for tens of thousands of gold, far beyond what any legitimate player could realistically farm. Blizzard eventually stepped in and outright banned GDKPs in Season of Discovery and the 20th Anniversary servers, recognizing how deeply they encourage gold buying in RMT. However, despite this ban, gold buying is just as, if not more prevalent than ever. Even without GDKPs, players still want gold for high-cost items, raid consumables, and profession materials, and botting operations have only continued to grow to meet that demand. Since TBC and Wrath Classic, botting operations became even more efficient, utilizing dungeon farms, open-world farming scripts, and even hacked accounts to generate massive amounts of gold. While Blizzard has attempted some countermeasures, the demand for gold never truly went away. The introduction of the WoW token in Wrath Classic was Blizzard's direct response, giving players an official way to buy gold, but also essentially admitting that RMT had become an unstoppable force in the game's economy. And nowadays, we're seeing botting once again flood through the game. The cycle repeats. Let's be real. Gold buying is more common than people like to admit. The temptation to bypass the grind and just swipe your card for thousands of gold is strong, especially when you see players effortlessly affording epic mounts, raid consumables, and best-in-slot items from the auction house. But the reality is that every gold transaction fuels a much bigger issue: botting and account theft. When you buy gold, that currency often comes from bot farms running 24/7, exploiting the game's economy. These bots farm high-value materials, dominate key grinding locations, and flood the auction house with undercut prices, completely distorting the natural economy of the game. It might seem harmless if you're just buying a little bit to keep up, but every purchase incentivizes these operations to continue. It's a domino effect that knocks everything down. Bots aren't just a minor nuisance. They actively make the game worse for everyone. First, botting inflates the economy. When thousands of automated accounts are farming and selling materials nonstop, it drives up the prices of key items and devalues the gold that players earn legitimately. This makes it harder for regular players to keep up with the market, especially when they're trying to save for those expensive necessities like mounts or raid consumes. Second, bots overcrowd the farming spots. If you've ever tried to gather Black Lotus, Thorium, or even simple cloth materials like Mage Weave, you've probably encountered bots running the same routes in a loop. These aren't dedicated players farming efficiently. They're scripts designed to take advantage of resource respawns and maximize profits with zero downtime. This forces real players to either compete with automated systems or abandon certain gold-making strategies altogether. Thirdly, increased botting leads to large-scale ban waves. While Blizzard does take action against botting operations, the result is often massive gold wipes from the economy. While this sounds good in theory, it also leads to sudden market crashes and supply shortages, making it even harder for legitimate players to afford key items. The cycle then repeats as new bots emerge to replace the banned ones, making it an ongoing struggle. Now I want to address something that's been brought up in the comments of some of my gold farming videos. A lot of you have mentioned that certain farms just aren't viable anymore because they've been completely taken over by bots, or that the guides unintentionally highlight spots that later get ruined by bots. And honestly, I get it. It's frustrating to put in the effort to grind gold only to find that the best locations are flooded with scripted characters that never stop farming. So, what's the solution? The best we can do as a community is to farm smarter, adapt to new gold-making strategies, and most importantly, never support the problem by buying gold. It's tempting, I get it. But if more players took a stand against RMT, demand would drop, and botting would become far less profitable. Blizzard has been cracking down on botting operations with ban waves and new detection methods, but as long as there's money to be made, new bots will keep appearing. So, what can we do as players? First off, we need to report suspicious activity. If you see obvious bot paths or impossible play patterns, use the in-game reporting system. While it's not perfect, every bit helps in identifying and removing these accounts from the game. A word of caution though, targeting the player, or killing it if on a PvP server, can result in the bots mass reporting you back. With Blizzard's automated reporting system, you could end up getting banned if you're not careful. Second, we should support player-driven economy. That means buying from real players rather than suspiciously undercut auctions that are clearly mass farmed by bots. This keeps the gold in the hands of actual players and discourages exploiters from profiting off of their automation. Additionally, we should all avoid purchasing anything from level 1 characters spamming trade chat, whether it's cheap materials, dungeon boosts, or other power leveling services. These are often fronts for gold selling operations and other scams. Lastly, staying informed is crucial. The more players talk about the issue, the more pressure Blizzard has to take meaningful action. Whether it's discussing botting in community forums, highlighting exploitative behavior, or simply refusing to engage with RMT sellers, awareness is a powerful tool in combating these problems. At the end of the day, Classic WoW is all about the journey. Gold buying and botting might seem like shortcuts, but they actively ruin the experience for everyone. Whether you're trying to farm your epic mount, afford raid consumables, or just play the game as it was meant to be played, we all have a role to play in keeping Classic WoW as authentic and enjoyable as possible. Anyway, that's it for today. If you found this discussion interesting or helpful, let me know by liking it and leaving a comment down below. Whether you've run into bots yourself, or have suggestions for those of us annoyed by their constant presence, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember to hit that subscribe button for more classic content. But for now, and as always, take it easy guys.